Hey, good morning, everybody. Here it is, December the 9th, 9:45 in the morning on a Wednesday. We're gonna go ahead and knock out these injector O-rings. I know I've been talking about this for a while. I've been having a lot of other things jump in the middle of me, preventing me from doing this. Like Christmas lights, Christmas shopping, buying this other truck, fixing this other truck, getting it ready to flip. And hopefully we'll post that other truck to flip for sale today. And well, we're gonna go ahead and start and inject the O-rings right here on this truck. Well, y'all not gonna have these the exhaust coming out your hood. Most of y'all won't anyway. And a lot of these trucks, y'all already know these trucks don't come with an intercooler. I added one afterwards. So I'm gonna have to take off the intercooler piping, and so we'll be able to get to the valve cover. But here it is, taking care of it right now. All right, now that I got the piping out the way, these both valve covers have 10mm bolts in them, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of these, but you do have a bracket. This is the bracket that holds down the oil dipstick right here on the side. And what you're gonna have to do is take this one out with a flat head, or let's see, what did I use? With a flat head or a 3/16 socket. No, 3/16. I'm about to say 5/16. So 5/16 socket will take this little clip off. That's the main thing what you want to do before you try to take it off, unless you're gonna take the whole dipstick tubing off itself. In order to take the rest of the bracket off, you are gonna have to use a 1/2 inch. Focus. There you go. 1/2 inch socket, deep socket preferably, to take these bolts out, and to take the nuts out first, and then to finish taking off these bolts, because these are the only ones that are different size than the rest of them. These are 1/2 inch, the rest are 10mm. All right, here it is, opened up. There's one bolt that was significantly harder to get to than the rest of them. That's the one that all the way back here. All the way back there. This one right here that I'm pointing to. You can barely see it on the camera, but there it goes right there. So that one is significantly harder to get to. The only thing I did is I broke it loose with a small ratchet, 10mm, and you could probably loose it. You could probably get it with this ratchet and 10mm deep socket with this one, but you have to snake your hand underneath here and come from the bottom like that. I've tried doing it from the bottom of the truck and can't really see anywhere. But that one you will have to feel your way around. And here's the injectors. So valve cover is already off right now. All right, here we got the valve cover gaskets off. Be very careful. You will have to snake this out from the area, because there's a lot of hoses, electrical around. Be careful when you disconnect these. This one's brand new almost, because I replaced both of the valve cover gaskets, these electrical valve cover gaskets on both sides, and the glow plugs not too long ago. So these are good. But whenever you disconnect the connections, the original harness on the truck, it is brittle. So most of them will be brittle from the heat after so many years. So just be careful. All right, whenever you take the under valve cover harness off, before you take it off, of course, you're gonna have to unclip
glow plugs and of course the injectors, and so they have a metal clip that you just swing out. It's a clip in place. These right here, I already took all the other oil deflectors off. I used a T30 to take it off, but it's actually an Allen. I can't find my Allens, so I just took these off already. Then next we're gonna get these bolts down here. Alright, 5/16 would take these bolts out, and they're right there below the injector. Of course there's one on each, and then now what you got to do is pop these out of place. They're a little bit rough to take out, but basically what you're gonna have to do is see how it moves up. So there's this bolt, this 5/16. Do not take this out. What you're gonna do is you're gonna move this up and over it, and then you're gonna pop it out with the flathead screwdriver or some other bar, whatever you want to use. So here the injectors, already popped out. This one's already out. I already taken it out. But what I use a small pry bar. What I did is I put it underneath here, and of course this you're gonna have to make it go over this little bolt that each one has. I thought that was loose, but you're gonna have to make it this clip piece go over the bolt and then pry it out. Don't put too much force or you could possibly damage something. Let me show you what I came out with this injector. So here I believe it's injector from cylinder number 1. Reason why I'm replacing these injector O-rings is because I am having oil in my fuel, in the fuel bowl, and of course that'll possibly clog up the fuel filter real fast. So I'm gonna have to replace the fuel filter also. Well, anyway, so I was inspecting all of these. I went ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and replace every single one. I already did one side. I'm just doing the side I haven't done, of course, the passenger side. And whenever I was looking at them, also you need to replace the injector O-rings if you see that there's oil in your coolant. So I was inspecting this one, and we're good, and look at that. So after years of use, this O-ring finally just crapped out and was about to tear. It's a real pretty good flat spot right there. So all of these will be getting changed out. Look, it's even coming out. So all of these injector O-rings will be replaced, and that confirms the oil in the fuel. Alright, so basically the only thing I did was just cut these injector O-rings off. They're all rubber. This last crush washer, copper, just go in there with the knife and pick it up. Did find 2 of these injectors with the O-rings that were like extremely bad, so this was a job that did definitely need to get done. So now the only thing I need to do is replace the O-rings with the new ones. Let me show y'all. Alright, so here we are. Got the injector out. If you look, you have some pretty dirty spots like that right there. So you get like a Brillo pad or something like that, and just make sure you just got to make sure you clean it off. Try not to scratch anything up. If you do, don't scratch it up too bad. Minor scratches aren't an issue, but depends how deep you go. So Woody cleaned this up most of the way. This is non-lint or lint-free rag or whatever it is. I just try to use those and just clean up all the old oil off of it. So it looks pretty good right now. I start with putting the copper ring on. You can use anything as simple as like a paint marker. I'm using this right here. Well, actually just the top, and it's about the same size as the copper washer, and just kind of bang it on. Don't hit it too hard. Make sure it sits flat on the injector. Then you have a metal ring. The metal ring goes all the way to the bottom. Just be careful with the metal ring, because you don't want to scratch up the injector too bad. So this job is not hard at all. It's I mean, going through the same thing with 8 injectors. Also, one thing y'all need to do is whenever you're putting these O-rings on, make sure the injector is lubricated, because last thing you want to do is tear one of your new O-rings. And so I lubricate the injector and the O-ring right before I put it on. So little oil right here. So the first one that goes on is this kind of flat surface. The O-ring goes all the way to the bottom, sits on top. So y'all can see right here, this is the metal ring, this is the rubber ring. The rubber ring, you just with your fingernail, I don't have long fingernails, I'm not that tight, just saying. Run it along the edge. Make sure it sits flat. Make sure it's not bent or twisted in any kind of way. Next is this other O-ring. It's rounded, not this way, but on the inside, of course. But well, it is rounded the whole way around. So you just get that to sit on top. So on this first space, you have the metal ring, the flat rubber O-ring, and the rounded rubber O-ring on top. And this ring, this O-ring's a little bit harder to get on because it's a little bit more sturdy. But just make sure you lubricate this pretty good before you put it on any of the O-rings. Before you put them on. So kind of babysit it a little bit. This one's a little bit hard-headed to put on. And there it goes. That one sits, of course, right there in that groove. And the last one, that's O-ring. Of course, you're going to lubricate that one before you put it on. And this one, it's a little bit harder than the first 2 rubber rings, but not so bad. So there it is. All O-rings replaced. This was the last injector that I did. See, I have the other 4 in the background. The driver's side I've already done. So just knocking out this passenger side, and tomorrow we'll go ahead and put these in back in the truck. So that's all it is to it. I mean, it's not hard. The kit that I bought, and maybe it says it backwards, but this is a Dorman part number 904-206. Did get it from Advanced. I actually had to go to 2 different Advanced auto parts because for some reason they don't carry all 4 of them. Each box is a 2-part kit. So each box takes care of 2 injectors. So I'm not needed to get 4 boxes. These are 2 just for this side. And well, that's about it. Like I said, tomorrow we'll go ahead and put these injectors back in the 7.3. Alright, here it is, y'all. I have the injectors back in the truck. Put everything back together. Oil deflectors, injectors, and 1 little bolt right here. So what we did is we took out the glow plugs, because if you don't take the glow plugs out, whenever y'all take these injectors out, oil flows into the cylinders. So if you leave the glow plugs in and you try cranking the truck, chances are very likely that you will hydro lock this motor. So whatever you do, just remember, anytime you change out the injector, anytime you pull the injectors, take the glow plugs out, crank it. After you replace them, crank it and let the oil shoot out of there and get out from the cylinders. If not, then you will either bust a piston or a rod and damage your crankshaft. There's a lot of damage that comes with it, but you'll need a new motor after that. So we're gonna go ahead and put the valve cover harness on, the valve cover partially on, and we're gonna crank it a few times and let the oil come out. All right, so we went ahead and I went ahead and put the truck back together. Like I said in earlier in the video, I just cranked it a couple times, just real fast, just enough to get the oil out of the cylinders. And so I put the glow plugs back on, valve harness, valve cover, of course my my intercooler piping, and my dual stacks. Went ahead and put everything together, and now about to fire it up right now. It is gonna smoke, so and it might take a little bit to crank up, but eventually it'll crank up. It just has to build oil pressure, and the oil has to circulate around. All right, here goes try number 1. And it will take a while to crank up. Just gotta make sure you give the starter a break. Alright, here it is. It's already on now. We got a little bit of smoke because it was burning the oil that was in the cylinders, what was left of it. So we still have a little bit of oil in there. Well, that's about it. We'll go ahead and close this video up. Alright, thanks for checking this video out. And as you already know, I'm just making these videos to help out other people that have these 7.3s and they want to modify them, or just, you know, small things to fix up, look out for. But looks like we are good with this truck now. I'll catch you on the next one.